You build your body through repeated stress. You build your skill through repeated practice. You build strength through repeated overload. Rules. Where are your rules? Do you have a fixed training time or does it move daily? Do you have a fixed work block or does it float? Do you have a fixed sleep schedule or you sleep depending on your mood? When you walk into the gym, you do not ask your muscles what to do. You follow program. Follow the program. Your routine exposes you, not your ambition, not your intentions, not your potential, your routine. Because routine is repetition. Your routine exposes you and routine builds identity. Identity builds outcome. If your results look average, your daily pattern is average. There is no mystery. Look at your training. If you randomly change exercises every session, if you skip warm-ups, if you change intensity based on your convenience, and if you stop when it becomes uncomfortable, your body stays the same. Consistency reshapes structure. Random effort maintains structure, but consistency reshapes structure. Right now, your structure is fragile. You begin strong for 3 days, then you relax. You push hard 1 week, then you fade. You create intensity workout, but no sustained pattern. Intensity feels powerful, but patterns create power. You do not need more intensity. You need stronger rhythm. You need stronger pattern. Rhythm removes chaos. Chaos feels energetic, but it produces no accumulation. Accumulation changes position. If your daily system is inconsistent, your growth becomes inconsistent. That is not just motivation failure, that is architecture failure. Architecture determines durability. You build your body through repeated stress. You build your skill through repeated practice. You build strength through repeated overload. Why would life operate differently? Weak routine looks like this. Different sleep time every night. Different start time every morning. Unplanned workouts. Unstructured learning. Random effort. Last minute urgency. Constant adjustment. Adjustment destroys stability. Stability builds capacity. Capacity builds dominance. Your schedule right now bends easily. Your schedule bends when tired. Your schedule bends when distracted. It bends when social plans appear. Your schedule bends when minor discomfort shows up. If your schedule bends easily, then you break easily. Strong systems adapt within structure. Structure remains fixed. You train even when you are inconvenient. You eat aligned even when you are tempted. You complete sessions even when you are bored. That is structure. Right now, your habits depend on circumstance. Circumstance changes. So, output changes. When output changes, progress stalls. You want serious advancement? Then build a system that runs without negotiation. Negotiation weakens discipline. Every time you renegotiate your plan, you reduce self-trust. Self-trust determines confidence. Confidence determines execution speed. Execution speed determines growth rate. If you constantly alter your routine, you constantly reset momentum. Momentum requires repetition. Repetition requires commitment. Commitment requires rules. Where are your rules? Floating structure produces floating results. Fixed structure produces upward trend. Look at professional athletes. They do not see how the day goes. They operate on schedule. warm up time fixed, training time fixed, recovery time fixed, review time fixed. Performance depends on precision. Your life requires precision, not drama, not inspiration. Precision. Right now, your routine is reactive. It reacts to distraction, it reacts to fatigue, it reacts to convenience. A reactive routine cannot build elite outcomes. Elite outcomes require proactive repetition. Proactive means you decide before pressure arrives, you decide the sequence, you decide the duration, you decide the intensity, then you follow it. No reinterpretation mid process. That phrase alone separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs chase novelty, professionals follow structure. Novelty entertains, structure transforms. Transformation is boring in the beginning because repetition looks ordinary. Because repetition looks ordinary, but repetition compounds. Compounding changes identity. Identity reshapes self-image. Self-image reshapes behavior. Behavior reshapes results. Weak routine feels exciting sometimes. Strong routine feels controlled. Control builds power. Power creates leverage over your own life. Without system, you drift. Drifting feels flexible. Flexibility without direction leads nowhere. You do not need more variety, you need more consistency. Consistency eliminates excuses. If training is every day at 6 a.m., there is no decision. If learning is every day at 9 p.m., there is no debate. Decision fatigue disappears. Energy preserves. Preserved energy builds output. Output builds progress. If every day looks different, your nervous system never stabilizes. Stability builds resilience. Resilience builds durability. Durability builds longevity. Longevity builds mastery. Weak routine chases quick change. Strong routine commits to long arcs. You are impatient. That is part of the weakness. You want visible change quickly, so you overtrain 1 week, undertrain the next week, overwork one day, underwork the next day. That swing destroys trajectory. Trajectory matters more than intensity. A steady upward line beats dramatic spikes. Spikes collapse, lines climb. Climb slowly, climb relentlessly, climb without interruption. That is how strength builds. That is how reputation builds. That is how confidence builds. You cannot trust someone inconsistent. Why would your own brain trust you? If you promise discipline and break it weekly, your mind stops believing you. Belief determines effort. Effort determines improvement. Improvement determines position. Position determines advantage. Advantage determines opportunity. Opportunity determines scale. Scale determines freedom. All from routine. You underestimate routine. Do not underestimate routine. You think greatness comes from rare moments? No. Greatness comes from ordinary repetition. The ordinary day matters most. The average Tuesday matters more than dramatic Sunday. If your average day is weak, your long-term identity is weak. So redesign your average day. Start with anchors. Anchor wake time, anchor training time, anchor focus block, anchor shutdown time. 4 anchors. Everything else adjusts around them. Anchors prevent drift. Drift creates mediocrity. You do not need a complex schedule. You need unbreakable anchors. When anchors exist, Chaos reduces. Chaos reduction increases clarity. Clarity increases efficiency. Efficiency increases speed. Speed increases accumulation. Accumulation builds power. Weak routine seeks comfort. Strong routine tolerates monotony. Monotony builds mastery. Mastery builds confidence. Confidence builds authority. Authority builds influence. Influence builds control. Control builds independence. Independence builds freedom. Freedom is built from routine, not from randomness. Right now, randomness runs part of your life. Eliminate it. Replace randomness with fixed behavior. Replace randomness with routine. If you train at same time daily, you remove excuses. If you plan weekly in advance, you remove confusion. If you track daily output, you remove illusion. Illusion hides weakness. Measurement exposes it. Exposure creates accountability. Accountability builds seriousness. Seriousness builds power. You want aggressive growth? Then your schedule must look disciplined. From outside, it may appear boring. From inside, it feels stable. Stability is strength. Strength wins long term. Your routine is weak because it is negotiable. Make your routine non negotiable. No matter the energy level, no matter the inconvenience, no matter the environment, stick to the routine. When behavior happens automatically, growth becomes inevitable. You do not wake up deciding whether to brush teeth. You just do it. Make training like that. Make work blocks like that. Make learning like that. Automatic repetition. When repetition becomes identity, you stop relying on willpower. Willpower fluctuates. Systems remain. Systems outlast motivation. Systems outlast hype. Systems outlast emotion. Build a system. Follow the system. Refine the system. Do not abandon the system. Abandoning the plan resets momentum. Momentum is fragile. Protect it. Protect the momentum with routine. Strong routine builds internal certainty. Certainty builds calm. Calm builds focus. Focus builds depth. Depth builds expertise. Expertise builds respect. Respect builds opportunity. Opportunity builds expansion. Expansion builds legacy. All from same routine. Stop chasing intensity. Stop chasing inspiration. Chase repetition. Chase precision. Chase daily execution. Because your routine reveals your seriousness. If your routine is weak, you better strengthen your routine. And when the routine becomes strong, you will see top results. That is power. Routine is power.